G'day gamers, Ranger Tony here, back with more Elder Scrolls V Skyrim with our character Druss the Legend. Okay, if you caught yesterday's stream and you saw what happened, I had a thing where I thought all of my potions had disappeared somehow. I went back and had a look, and I'm an idiot. I actually sold all of my potions to Belethor. I thought I was buying healing potions from Belethor, but instead I sold all of my potions to him. Which is annoying that when I came back later, I could no longer buy them back from him. That was quite annoying indeed, but anyway, now that we see that, yes, I am just an absolute idiot, it's time to head off to the next mission. So, we need to... what do we need to do? We need to go to the Sky Ruler Temple, or whatever it's called. It's all the way over here. Karthspire to the Sky Haven Temple. Cloud Ruler is the temple that technically is about over here somewhere, or maybe over here, because if you don't know the map of Tamriel, Cyrodiil is just down here. In fact, I think a large portion of this area all over here is Cyrodiil, and in fact I think it might even be somewhere around about here is where Cloud Ruler Temple is actually located. But this is obviously another Blade Temple, all the way over here in Karthspire. I have not found Karthspire yet, so it's going to be a bit of a run. So we might come from Broken Tower Redoubt and come down this way and then up that way. It's going to be a bit of a fight no matter what we do. There's probably going to be a few Forsaken along the way. Don't have a problem with that. Just a second. I want to vary. Yeah, okay. So, let's do that. Let's head off. I don't know, just the way that hill is, it suddenly looked like I was very short. Is that the direction we wish to go? No, we actually want to go... well, we actually want to kill this dragon first. If he's even going to come and bother us, he may end up attacking all of the Forsworn in that redoubt first. We do have Fire Breath though, so if he gets close, we're going to zap him with that. Are you going to come down here? That will at least have got his attention. Just missed him with that one. And I think he's just gonna go away. Yep. Okay. Nice and easy then. I mean, in one way it's a little bit disappointing. You can look at it and go, we missed the opportunity to take on a dragon and get another soul, but I don't necessarily want to kill the dragons if they're not going to cause a problem. Okay. Refresh myself. We've got to go quite a ways. There's probably going to eventually be a bridge on our left, a long way down that path there. well past that waterfall even. And we're more than likely going to get attacked by some Forsworn or other things long before then. Is that an afflicted refugee, or is that... It almost looks like a lone Thalmor. Could be a mercenary. Oh, I think it's a mercenary. No, it's an afflicted refugee in elven armor. Interesting. Sort of want to cross here actually, because I wanted to take that. Oh no, actually I don't want to take that road there, because that's going to get me to the back of the camp. I do want to go all the way around this way. The only reason I'm saying that, just so that everyone's aware, Delphine and Buggerlugs meet you on the south side of the Karthspire map. So you meet them just after. There's actually two bridges, one there and one there. And you meet them just after the bridge. If you come at them from this way, you've got to fight your way all the way through the camp to get to them. Not that that's a problem. It is not going to be hard, I don't think, for me to fight my way through that camp. Let me just do this while I think of it. The one thing that I always forget to do before I start the stream is put up my requests list. Okay. So yeah, we want to come at the camp from the south. Oh, I keep hitting the wrong buttons. Run. That's what we want to do. Run, run, run. Sorry. Changing the aircon temperature while you're running. Not exactly the safest thing in the world. Forsworn stuff. It's not... I mean, some of it sells reasonably well, but I just don't care about money anymore at the moment. I have 34 grand and I don't have anything I want to spend it on, so I'm not looking to buy a house or anything. I don't know if there's still going to be somebody up here at the mine, but if there is, I'm just going to come up here and clear them out from the outside of the mine only. I'm not going to go in. Are we all good out here? We are all good out here. Okay, down over the bridge. And off to Karthspire we go. Even though you can't see it yet, that little island you see there, I think that's where the two bridges go over. Yeah, I think that's about it. Okay. As we get closer, they should spawn in. There they go. Not far off our next level, which is nice. And a dragon at the same time. Damn it, it wouldn't let me do, where is he? There we go. Didn't damage to him, but that's... I might get Elemental Fury ready for when he comes and lands. Hopefully he'll come down. No? Because if he's not going to land, I'm going to have a real problem killing him. Where you going, mate? If they're just floating in the air like that and wanting to zap you with your breath, easiest way to get out of their range is to head underneath them. Maybe we'll come. The bridge here. And get some. Try to save some of my potions, to be honest. Them. One sec. Trying out new cordless headphones. And I'm not happy with them, so I'm going to switch back to the corded ones. They're dying as well. Okay, he's finally on the ground. You're not going to last long like that, though, are you? Aha! You might be lucky enough that someone else has gotten into the fight. Whoop. The only reason I need someone else in the fight is because this bastard's not landing. And I can't attack him while he's in the air. I need him on the ground. Where'd you go? Oh. You gonna land finally? Yes! So good, I'll keep that level up. So my health gets really low. So we are all good. So grab all of that. And that's
there can be no doubt. You are the Dragonborn of prophecy.
Sam is so screwed up at the moment. I'm hearing that so long after it happens. At least a second.
Let's keep moving.
If I switch it to that and then switch it back. Let's see if that's any better when I talk to them.
Are you sure this is the right way?
No.
That's all.
It's not any better. Anyway, we'll have to put up with it. Not much we can do about it now, but it's because I had the Bluetooth in and then I turned it off and it screwed everything up. Actually, there'll be a couple of guys over there as well. Let's get them first. Actually, no, it's probably easier to go this way. And there. And there's at least a second. Let me just double check there's nobody up here. And there isn't, even though that is a cave we do need to go to. Let's get back in here. Take on the rest of these guys. Let me go that way.
Back off. You're as good as you.
Right. Where do we go? Wait. Go this way first, because that's a hag raven over there. Okay. because quite frankly the sound is so badly out at the moment that I don't think I can continue playing, because I just can't. I didn't save any of that? Oh, you're kidding me. God, I'm stupid. Okay. Let's just try this for a second. Let's try turning that off. Wait a second or two. Try turning it back on. No, that is still ridiculously bad. I don't really want to stop the stream and restart it, but I may have to. Let's come from this way this time. I think there's a way to get out onto the south road from there. That's the north road. We'll jump off the cliff if we have to get to the south road from here. What's the worst that could happen? Yeah, we all know. I could just die again. Okay. So the problem here is the way I've got my stream set up, if anybody is interested. So I actually game on one PC, and then I have another PC that I stream from. Now, I'm not using a capture card or anything like that. I do plan to switch to that, and I bought a really cheap... Where is it? I bought a really cheap USB capture card, I don't know, 6 months ago, and I actually set it up again today to have a play with it and test it all out, and was going to start the stream with it on, and then realized that it wasn't performing very well graphically. Sound was great and everything synced up perfectly, so I don't use that. What I use instead is a process called NDI, which is basically a way to stream your video and audio over a network. And so I have OBS running on my gaming PC, and all it's doing is streaming what it's capturing over to just over the network to whoever wants to see it. Now that's my internal home network, and then my streaming PC takes that and uses that as the source for what you are seeing right now. Let's just double check. Yes, I do want to go that way. Let's quick save too, so we don't have the same thing happening again. So yeah, so my gaming PC, which is my main PC, it's the main PC I use for everything. It is basically broadcasting the video and audio over the network to the streaming PC. The streaming PC takes that as its source, and I then have my camera and microphone and all that sort of stuff plugged into the streaming PC, and I'm also getting, I'm putting my stream alerts and all that sort of stuff onto that PC, and it's then sending that all off to Twitch. Okay. Dragon back again. This time I know that the best way to do this fight is to... Oh, it's a fire dragon this time. Best best way to come to do this fight is to get up over here where there's some area that he can actually land. Let's just drink that resist fire. As well. So the reason that my sound is out is more to do with the fact that it is being streamed over the network than anything else. There we go. One dead dragon. Oi. No, you don't want to talk to me anymore?
For the blades.
What are you doing over there? Is there anything to even fight over there? Or is it just a bloody mud crab? Because there's no more dragons. So what's the problem?
There you are. I'm not afraid of you.
What is it? A second dragon? Oh man. Come on, over this way. Is that... I was going to say, is that Esbern that's attacking that dragon over there? But it's not. Let's get fire breath for this guy. Gets close enough. There we go. Get over here. I want him back up this way. Yes. Come and land over here. And we will take another elemental fury when we can. Fire breath. G'day guy, how you doing? Somewhere that I can attack him. Nexus is going to be a better thing to use against him at this point in time. He's a little far away, I think. It's just attacking the bear. Who the hell cast that? From up there. Yeah, that'll teach you. Wuuthrad in the face. Gonna come and land somewhere where I can beat the crap out of you. You don't want to land next to the other dragon we killed. Yes, there we go. Okay. And that got our level, which we didn't take last time, which was silly of us. I thought that was a third dragon. Oh, man. Okay. You still fighting that bear down in the water there? You ready now? Well, quick save that. Yeah, sound is still so
Lead
far
on to
out.
Skyhaven Temple.
Okay. Oh, let's do our level up, of course. Stamina this time. Let's have a look. What are we able to take up? We don't want lockpicking, sneak. Light armor, we don't have enough points yet. We can't do that, and we can't do any of these. So we're at the best we can with light armor. Two-handed, we're at 85. We can't do any. We can never do anything more in that. We need what, 90 to do more in that. So there's not much sense doing anything more in two-handed. Block, we don't have anything more we can do yet. No, we don't. There's only one thing in there, and there's only one thing in there. We could do smithing. I could do restoration. In fact, I think I will, because that's about the only magic I'm using at the moment. Being able to get some more out of my novice restoration so I can heal myself a little bit better is probably about the only thing that I really need to do right now. Let's do a full save here. Okay, let's do this. Yeah, Unrelenting Force is a good shout to use. So let's use it. I didn't even use the full version of the thing. Ouch. Get rid of that stupid thing. She went. And head back into the fight. so weird because my sound is all screwed up at the moment. And I'm going into all these fights, and it's amazing how much the sound actually helps you. Okay, we've got this hag raven here as well. Get rid of her if we can. Go. And we got him. Anyone up here? That should be all of them. Okay, I'll take that and that. And leave the rest, even though they're all worth a good bit of money. I don't really need a lot of stuff, so I'm only taking the obviously really worthwhile things like elven, dwarven, etc. Soul gems, which sell pretty well. Orcish, even though Orcish isn't that good when you get right down to it. Yeah, I guess I'll take all of that, even though some of it's junk. What's in a chest? Oh, very good stuff. Ooh. I'll leave the others though. They all sell well. Okay. Done her. Did everything up there. Of that, nothing there that I want. Have a look up here. Take those, even though they're not worth all that much. Dance in the fire. Block increase, very nice. Leave the rest. What have you got? Nothing that I want. What's in the satchel?
Let's keep moving.
Excuse me, emergency mute and all of that good stuff. I wish I had a reliable way to get this sound issue fixed in the middle of the stream. I think the only way to fix it is to stop and start the stream, which is a pain in the buttocks. So we're just going to put up with it, I guess. Somewhere between half a second and a full second out with all of the sound, which is definitely interesting. That's about all I can say about that. Okay, let's head inside, guys. We are on our way.
Uh-oh.
Something?
A shame it had to come.
I don't know if I say it's that much of a shame, you know. Inevitable. And I know that the whole Briarheart's a little bit too, aren't they? I know that, you know, the story is that they've had their lands stolen from them, etc., etc. But I don't know. Seriously, they've been in this situation for how long? They are living some kind of life in these little areas by themselves. I don't know why they feel the need to attack everybody. I would just, I mean, I don't know. It's unclear if, you know, if they tried to just live here and ignore everybody else, if anything would happen
These
to them.
pillars must have something to do with it.
Yes, these are Archery symbols. Here, let's see. You had the symbol for king and warrior, and of course the symbol for dragonborn. That's the one that appears to have a sort of arrow shape pointing downward at the bottom.
And so if we put the arrow
Yes,
shape
that's
pointing
it. The
downward,
symbol on the middle pillar.
Whatever you did, it worked. Let's see what those old blades left behind.
we need to follow the symbols. Da, 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 da. And it is now safe.
Wonderful. Remarkably well preserved, too. Here's the blood seal. Another of the lost Archery arts. No doubt triggered by, well, blood. Your blood, Dragonborn. Look here. You see how the ancient blades revered even Cyrodiil?
Activate the blood seal with the knife that I don't own.
It's coming to life.
And we'll just sit here and wait. Where are they? They're coming, they're just incredibly slow.
Look, here is Alduin. This panel goes back to the beginning of time, when Alduin and the Dragon Cult ruled over Skyrim. Here, the humans rebelled against their dragon overlords, the legendary Dragon War. Alduin's defeat is the centerpiece of the war. You see, here is falling from the sky. The Nord Tongs, masters of the voice, are arrayed against him.
So does it show how they defeated him? Isn't that why we're here?
Patience, my dear. The Akaviri were not a straightforward people. Everything is couched in allegory and mythic symbolism. Yes, yes. This here, coming from the mouths of the Nord heroes, this is the Akaviri symbol for shout, but there's no way to know what shout is meant.
You mean they used a shout to defeat Alduin? You're sure?
Oh yes, presumably something rather specific to dragons, or even Alduin himself. Remember, this is where they recorded all they knew of Alduin and his return.
So we're looking for a shout then. Damn it. Have you ever heard of such a thing? A shout that can knock a dragon out of the sky? You're probably right. I was hoping to avoid having to involve them in this, but it seems we have no choice. Right. Good thing they've already let you into their little cult. Not likely they'd help Esbern or me if we came calling. We'll look around Skyhaven Temple and see what else the old blades might have left for us. It's a better hideout than I could have hoped for. Talos guard you.
Look here, in the third panel. The prophecy which brought the Akaviri to Tamriel in the first place, in search of the Dragonborn. Here are the Akaviri, the blades. You see their distinctive long swords. Now they kneel, their ancient mission fulfilled, as the last Dragonborn contends with Alduin at the end of time. Are you paying attention, Delphine? You might learn something of our own history.
Okay, I don't think there's too much in here, but I'm going to have a quick look around. I do F5. Let's get a bit of lighting. There we go. What's in this chest? Blades, armor, but it's all heavy stuff, so I don't want that. I'll take the Corundium ingot though. Don't want that. Dragon Bane blade. It's worth a hell of a lot if I sell it, but I think I'll leave it. And up this way. Hides, to be honest. Well, I sort of do. You can make a little bit of quick money from hides by converting them into leather strips and selling them. But it's not a huge amount of money because they only sell for a gold each, I think. This is the other way out, isn't it? Yeah. Is there another room over this side? No. I sort of feel like I missed something, but I guess I didn't. What does the map say? Hard to tell, but I don't think I did miss anything. Right, let's head out this top way. think there is something out here to look at. Oh, there is a dragon skeleton out here for some silly reason. I'm fairly feeling there's a chest around here somewhere. Or am I mistaken? Nothing there. No. I guess I am mistaken, because I'm not seeing anything. That's just harvesting juniper. Talk to Angear. So let's do that. Need that out. Where is it?
Your training, proceed. Where did you learn of that? Who have you been talking to? The Blades, of course. They specialize in meddling in matters they barely understand. Their reckless arrogance knows no bounds. They have always sought to turn the Dragonborn from the path of wisdom. Have you learned nothing from us? Would you simply be a tool in the hands of the Blades to be used for their own purposes? What I want is irrelevant. This shout was used once before, was it not? And here we are again. Have you considered that Alduin was not meant to be defeated? Those who overthrew him in ancient times only postponed the day of reckoning. They did not stop it. If the world is meant to end, so be it. Let it end and be reborn. No, not now. Not until you return to the path of wisdom. Dragonborn, wait. Forgive me, I was intemperate. I allowed my emotions to cloud my judgment. Master Einoth reminded me of my duty. The decision whether or not to help you is not mine to make. No, I cannot teach it to you, because I do not know it. It is called Dragonrend, but its words of power are unknown to us. We do not regret this loss. Dragonrend holds no place within the way of the voice. But not Dragonrend. The knowledge of that shout was lost in the time before history began. Perhaps only its creators ever knew it, but I am not the one to speak of it to you. It was created by those who had lived under the unimaginable cruelty of Alduin's dragon cult. Their whole lives were consumed with hatred for dragons, and they poured all their anger and hatred into this shout. When you learn a shout, you take it into your very being. In a sense, you become the shout. In order to learn and use this shout, you will be taking this evil into yourself. Only Paarthurnax, the master of our order, can answer that question, if he so chooses. You weren't ready, you still aren't ready. But, thanks to the blades, you now have questions that only Paarthurnax can answer. He is our leader. He surpasses us all in his mastery of the way of the voice.
Of course, because he's a
He
dragon.
lives in seclusion on the very peak of the mountain. He speaks to us only rarely, and never to outsiders. Being allowed to see him is a great privilege. He lives in seclusion on the very peak.
Yeah.
He speaks to us only rarely. Only those whose voice is strong can find the path. We will teach you a shout to open the way to Paarthurnax.
Okay, so... Thankfully, these guys are reasonably spry for old men, otherwise this would take way longer. Imagine if we had to wait for them to hobble up here on walking frames or something.
Look. You my understanding of clear skies. This is your final gift from us, Dragonborn. Use it well. Clear skies will blow away the mist, but only for a time. The path to Paarthurnax is perilous, not to be embarked upon lightly. Keep moving, stay focused on your goal, and you will reach the summit.
Okey-dokey then. Be a good idea to quick save, just in case. I think this is the shout with the smallest cooldown. Mostly because you have to use it so much to get through all of this. just going to run away? Again. Really need it then, but anyway. At least we didn't blow the goat off the mountain when we did it. I feel like every time I come up here, I forget how long it is, how involved it is to get up this and get up to Parthenax. I didn't need it then. Here's where I need it.
Greetings, Wunderneek. I am Parthenax. Who are you? What brings you to my Strunmach, my mountain? They see me as master, Wuuthrad, old and wise. It is true I am old. Tell me, why do you come here, Volan? Why do you intrude on my meditation? Drem. Patience. There are formalities which must be observed at the first meeting of two of the Dove. By long tradition, the Elder speaks first. Hear my Thum. Feel it in your bones. Match it if you are Dovahkiin. The word calls you. Go to it. Fire as the Dove do. Show me what you can do. Greet me not as mortal, but as Dova.
I'm actually curious. I'm trying to remember. Does that give me the full fire breath? No. If I didn't already know some of it, it would have only given me the first level, I think.
Yes, Sedo Vlostmul. The dragon blood runs strong in you. It is long since I had the pleasure of speech with one of my own kind. So, you have made your way here to me. No easy task for a jaw, mortal. Even for one of Dovassos, dragon blood. What would you ask of me? Ah, I have expected you, Proda. You would not come all this way for Tinvak with an old Dova. No, you seek your weapon against Alduin. Yes, they are very protective of me, Bahlan Fadon. But I do not know the Thum you seek. Croesus, it cannot be known to me. Your kind, Jor, mortals, created it as a weapon against the Dove, the dragons. Our Hadrime, our minds, cannot even comprehend its concepts. Drem, all in good time. First, a question for you. Why do you want to learn this Thum? Prusa has good a reason. Perhaps this world is simply the egg of the Paz. Those who try, but you have.
I've seen this.
Do you know why I live here, at the peak of the Monaven, what you name Throat of the Varucht Unsla? It was the Kell. The Kell. But this is only a small part of which is why I have lived here. If you brought with, you could learn Dragonrend from Croesus. You are likely better informed. Trust your instincts, Dovahkiin. Your blood will show you the way. Drem Yolok, greetings. I have taught, but no, I meditate on the Rotmul. Knowing contemplate. Will I teach you, Dovahkiin? It is called think. That is Fus. Let its meaning fill you. Sum
Okay. So, if you haven't seen this before, what basically has happened is he told us that he doesn't know the shout because it was created by mortals. It was created by the Nord voices originally. And that the only way to learn the shout is to use one of the Elder Scrolls to come to this wavering thing that you see right here. This is actually a time wound. This is the wound in time that happened the last time the Dragon Scroll was read here. They fought Alduin on this very spot hundreds or thousands of years ago. And they read one of the Elder Scrolls in an attempt to destroy Alduin. It didn't destroy him, though. It sent him through time, potentially to this point in time, to when we got attacked in Helgen, basically. And so he is theorizing if we bring a Elder Scroll back to this point and read it, we will be able to see through and potentially go through the time wound and see that event happen when Alduin was last defeated and learn the Dragonren shout from the Nord voices who did that last time. So we now need to find someone who can tell us where to get a Elder Scroll. So just to be different, I'm going to come, and I could have just gone to the Greybeards, but I'm going to come in here to Esbern and ask him. It doesn't matter, they send you the same way each time. Where is he? Oh, he must be outside. Let's have a look. Yep. Oh, our dragon skeleton is still flopping around out there.
I used to dream of it. Ah, you're back. I hope you've made some progress on tracking down this... Ah, indeed. There's a pretty puzzle. Not the kind of thing you will find in your local bookshop. Let me think.
Perhaps the College of Winterhold. What learning there is in Skyrim is gathered there. One of the mages there may be able to put you on the trail of this Elder Scroll.
That's someone else trying to do an impression. That is not the same character. I don't know why they did that with a different voice actor, but I gather there must have been some reason for it. Okay, we have been to Winterhold before, but we haven't been to the College of Winterhold. I'm actually thinking, though, that what we're going to do is I'm going to come back to Whiterun. I have some stuff to sell. I've got several bits of dragon bone, etc., and some other stuff to sell, and I want to keep an eye out for more
Got some
healing
good pieces
potions.
up. The finest weapons and armor. Don't forget.
I'd like to use that tanning rack for a moment if I can. I have 41 leather. I know I had some.
I don't claim to be the best. Looking to protect yourself or deal some damage?
Now I have 167. So it's only 167 gold, but better than nothing.
Looking to protect yourself?
No, I'll sell it to what's his face up here, Bellathor. Right.
Welcome
This time we'll
to
try not to
Bellathor's
sell
General
all
Goods.
of our
Welcome
potions
indeed.
to him.
Imperials, Storm. Some may call this junk. Me, I call them treasures.
Okay, don't want that or that. Get rid of that. Actually, I'm going to get rid of so I'm going to get rid of them. Okay, I don't need that. Don't need that. Don't want any of this. And then I mistakenly sell and that, and then I want that back. Okay, let's put that back on.
Do come back.
We're going to go next door to the alchemist and see if she's got any more potions of healing, which I doubt, but we'll do it anyway. Then we're going to go back up into your Vaska and get more
These Stormcloak. So you're an alchemist
vegetable
then.
soup that I've got hidden away, and I just bought something I did not want, and it's that. Potions. A potion of healing, a potion of minor healing, and that's it. You are completely useless. Right, up to your Vaska. I don't suppose this area is going to be repaired yet. No, it isn't. How annoying. Well, probably never gets repaired now. Okay, I thought I had a container somewhere with keys I want to drop off. Let's have a look. Just those. I thought I had a container out here with the rest of my soups and stuff, but all I've got is 3 honeycomb in there. Am I completely out? I didn't think I sold them all, used them all, but maybe I did. So I need to go and get more ingredients to make vegetable soup. That's annoying. I was positive about that. I would love... I can take those tomatoes. Brilliant. That's step 1. I need leeks. I need cabbages. And I need potatoes. Red apples. Oops, didn't want that. That's empty anyway. So we're going to do a search through everywhere in here looking for leeks, cabbages, and potatoes that we can take without being considered stealing. Which may be a little bit hard Can't take anything from any of that. What's in this wardrobe? Clothes and a nice hat. Okay, what have you got? Salt pile. No, thank you. More salt pile. Potatoes. Very good. Nothing in you. Sack of flour. Potato, potato. Potato. What's in that cupboard? Gold. Cabbage. What about in here? Salt pile. A hat. In the sack. Cabbages, beautiful. Okay, that's everything downstairs. Let's have a quick look upstairs here. We're basically going to have a bit of a hard time, I think, finding everything I want. Because I've pretty much looted everything around this area. I don't just mean Jorvaskr, I mean the whole of Whiterun and all of those areas around it. What's in that barrel? Potatoes, we'll take all of them. I think I searched that already. What's in this cupboard? More gold. Not that I need it. I've got so much gold it's not funny anymore. Actually, we'll go to the tavern too, because we may actually just be able to buy vegetable soup. We have enough money. We may be able to try that. Let's take that tomato, a bowl, and those two. Oops, didn't mean to do that, but what we're going to do is we're going to go into there, and we're going to put away that basket, that bowl, and that plate, because we don't want them. Nothing there. Oh, we can actually take that coin purse. Not that I really need to. More cabbage. The thing that's going to be hardest to find will be leeks. Don't want to take any of that. What's in this chest? Just some gold. What's in the sack? Carrots, they're no good. Wardrobe, no good. Searched over there, we searched just there, there's nothing there. What's on the table? We've got more potatoes.
What are you doing that for?
Potatoes. Well, why not? I'd like potatoes, alright? Actually, I saw a meme the other day where someone, it was a picture of a large cheese making facility is about the only thing, probably a warehouse actually attached to a cheese making facility that just had rows upon rows of cheeses, wheels of cheese just stacked everywhere, and then it said underneath it, cheese, the most stolen item in the world. And then of course underneath it was a picture of, you know, the standard Skyrim guy with his curly horned helm. And I was like, yep, that's true. Given the chance, I will take cheese because it sells reasonably well for how much it weighs. Let's just quickly come out the back. because there may be a couple other things. G'day, David. Well, you know, you could be out fighting dragons too if you really wanted to. But the problem is there's a good chance you're going to die if you go and fight a dragon as a guard. So, I don't know.
God of man, ascended from flesh to rule the realm.
Trying to remember if there's any. There isn't. Trying to remember if there's any like little backyard gardens around there, but there's not. So let's come down here. I almost never talk to this woman, so I want to see if I can buy.
Life's hard enough. Trinkets, odds and ends, that sort of thing.
You've got tomatoes. You got 7 leeks. Let's buy all of them. So what have we got now in the way of ingredients? We've got, so I can make 7 more soups. I'm low on leeks. And I probably could use a few more tomatoes as well. So leave it at that for the moment. You're not going to have anything. I don't like talking to you because it starts a quest. I don't think... I'll double check to see if Arcadia's got any leeks, but I don't think she does.
Potions and alchemy reagents. These storm... So you're interested in my potions and ingredients?
No.
Come back
Thank
anytime.
you.
You're ready.
Yeah, no. Let's get out of here.
Take a good look around. I'm sure you'll find what you're looking for. Imperials, storm... Oh, a bit of this and a bit of that.
You've got 2 more leeks. Very nice. Handful of tomatoes.
Do come back.
I could buy each of those. But I'm not going to. So the other thing, with this, yes, I can buy all of those. Oh, I can buy these as well. Let's buy them. And I'm actually a little, I think, am I a little low on cabbages as well? 14. I've got plenty of potatoes. I'm not doing too bad for the other stuff. Let's just come up in here because there's 2 things. We can probably cook stuff in here, but also
come on in.
Be able to buy.
Let me know if you need anything, or take a seat by the fire, and I'll send. If it's work you need, how about shopping up some? Take a look.
Okay, so you don't have any vegetable soup. You do have 2 leeks. Let's get those. So, yeah, I can make 13 more vegetable soup. I think that'll be good.
You want a drink?
No.
It's been a pleasure.
If I wanted a drink, I would ask for it. We also don't want to do your mission. There we go. All the vegetable soup we could want. Leeks is our main thing that we're hard to get. Yeah, they are huge tomatoes, but you can... I have seen tomatoes almost that big before. I know they are pretty rare, though. Apparently, they don't always taste all that good when they get that big, is the other thing. Actually, let's do a full save. Still, I've got to say, I'm still not entirely happy with how many potions we've got available at the moment. Let's actually go into Riften. I think there's an alchemy shop in there, although I think I went there before as well. Let's just do a quick run around looking for some more alchemy shops. So was there one? No, it's not there. It's right here, I think. No, that is the pawned prawn, which may have some stuff in it. So where am I thinking the alchemy shop was? That's the tavern. That's the orphanage. Maybe it's downstairs, I'm thinking. Because I'm not seeing it up here anywhere.
I'm really getting tired of your excuses. When you borrowed the money, you said you'd pay it back on time.
So this is, yes, this is it. Oh, Elgrim's Elixirs, he's open early.
Got a pretty full stock of potions and alchemy reagents.
Oh.
This place has seen better days. So you're interested in my potions and ingredients?
Yeah, even though you're not really open. And you don't have a huge selection.
Don't forget I can supplies for your journey.
Potion of health. But that one there looks, that doesn't look like cure disease to me. I don't want to steal them, I want to buy them, but they're not set to buy, so okay. Well, that, okay, so that mission, the Akaviri one, is an interesting one because Saint Salvius has told me multiple times that if you do that mission and you side with the Alcair warriors, or the Akaviri, or whatever they are called, you side with the Redguard warriors, the Hammerfell warriors, and they take the woman. So they paralyze her, and then apparently they're going to take her back to Hammerfell. But if you then go down into the catacombs below Whiterun, apparently there is a book there which names the recently deceased, and her name ends up in there. So in one hand you've got a bunch of guys that say that they are going to take her back and give her a decent trial, etc., etc., but there is then something that puts her name in a book of the dead, and on the other hand, on a woman who you barely know, you're just, on her say-so, you go and kill a whole bunch of guys that are supposedly trying to murder her, on no one else's say-so but hers.
Need something?
See for yourself.
It's another one of the really annoying missions that they give you in these games, where everything is morally ambiguous. Who do you believe? I don't know.
Potions and
I would prefer the missions to be a little less like that, personally. Okay, we want potion of healing. We don't want the potion of health. We want the potion of loner healing. We want the 3 plentiful healings. And in fact, I think we will sell that potion of health because we don't want it. Still would like a little more.
Hope to see you again soon.
Potions than that. Oh yeah, Skyrim is nothing but grey areas, and that is one of the things that annoys me about this game. I would very much prefer the game to be a little more cut and dried, a little more, yes, this is you going down the good path, no, this is you going down the evil path. No sorts of, oh well, you're not going to know ever whether you did the right thing or not.
I'm not interested, Jari. It doesn't matter how many times you ask.
You know, that I don't really like. Now, that's one of the reasons why, as I've mentioned multiple times before, I tend...
Ah, welcome to Angela's Aromatics. Can I help you with some herbal needs?
I want to buy...
Need something for a potion? You're certainly in the right place.
Oh, it's the middle of the night. How did it even let me in the middle of the night? What was I saying? That's the reason why I don't do most of the Daedric quests in this game, because most of the Daedric quests are even more a case of we are not going to tell you whether what you're doing is the right thing, or we are going to request that you go and do this thing for me, and then once you've done it, you're going to find out.
If you're looking for potions, you should talk to my aunt, Angeline Moreau.
Yeah, well, where is she? Because I do want potions. Let's just wait an hour. Or two. Yeah, true. There is that whole... I understand what you're saying about the ability to roleplay.
Take a look.
It does take a bit of that away from you. You're right. Potion of healing. I don't want the potions of health. I'll take all of the minor healing. That's really nice. Okay. We're done here.
Later then.
Yes. You know, they got the leveling right in this game, and ultimately it...
Welcome to Bits and Pieces.
Yeah, it does what it says on the box. It's a good game, but if you really do want to do some of that serious role-playing stuff, you might have problems because of the way it expects you to play. Or a lot of the missions that it gives you. You know, like there is a small part of me that in both Oblivion and Skyrim I would love to be able to do 100% run, where I could come in afterwards and say, I have done absolutely everything in this game, because that is something else that is very rare for me to have been able to do in games over the years, just because I just have this tendency not to finish games very often. And so I really wish that, you know, the missions weren't like they are with their, you know, just the way that they treat you and the way that you're expected to act, etc., etc. You know, and I've said it before, but I really don't sort of fully... Oh, dragon attack again. I don't fully understand this whole thing of... Good, I had my fire breath there ready to go. Okay, he did a lot more damage to me with the fire breath than I did to him. He's going to be able to land on the ground. He's just going to keep landing on top of buildings here. Unless I can get up on top of those buildings, I'm not going to be able to fight him down on this. Unrelenting force, I think. Ooh. Dun, dun, dun. And we're done. Yay. I'm getting attacked by something else. Oh, a spider. Is that it? That works. Yeah, I definitely agree. They had a plan for what you're supposed to be in this game, and Nord is no doubt top of that list, and probably Nord male at that. But there's some, like, I've been thinking about this, and there's some really ridiculously simple things they could have done to fix that, so that it didn't always feel like you should be a Nord male.
Oh, do come in. I hope I have what you
Like
need.
the Greybeards, for example.
If you need any alchemy supplies,
If there was
I'll do my
just,
best to provide them.
say, one
Assuming everything keeps
Greybeard who
them
was a
all up.
woman, and another one who wasn't quite obviously a Nord. Like any other, like, you know, Redguard, or an elf, or an orc, or just something. But the whole game just has this Nord whitewash sort of over the entire thing.
So, you're interested in my potions and ingredients? All right, then.
So yeah, I mean, I still like the game. There's no doubt about it. But I do feel like I'm getting to the point where I don't feel like there's a lot more I want to do in the game that I haven't already done. I don't feel like, you know, like I don't want to do a thief run or an assassin run. You know, I'm never going to be doing a run where I join the Brotherhood or join the Thieves Guild or anything like that. That's just not going to happen. And I definitely feel like I've done most of the stuff that I want to do in this game.
Cross the bridge at your own peril. The way is dangerous and the gate will not open. You shall not gain entry.
Yeah, I can understand, like, yeah, I can sort of understand it. Like, the fact that they've got this You know, they've got this world where, you know, the High Elves are not the good guys. They're not the, you know, tin hat wearing crazy evil bad guys either. I mean, they are the bad guys, but are they evil or not is a different sort of... I guess they sort of are. I would probably actually say they are, the more that I think about it. But yeah, there is this level of racism, and I sort of understand it, but I don't, at the same time, I don't like it. I don't want it to be there. As I've said before, Oblivion did not feel any of that sort of racist to me. When you're going around Cyrodiil, there is not that like bland whitewash of only Imperials in all the cities and stuff like that. There are a lot of people from all different races throughout that game. In this game, in this playthrough that you're seeing right now, you're actually seeing more Khajiit and Argonians than normal, because I added a mod to put some in. But in general, you know, most, I would say probably more than 50% of the NPCs in this game are Nord. It's just like generic Nord. And then all the other races make up whatever's left. And like, I think it's more than 50%, so I think there's less than 50% of the NPCs are other races, and that just seems wrong.
Welcome to the College of Winterhold. I am Feralda, one of the senior wizards here.
And I can understand that they did it for a reason, I suppose, but it also...
Now, I must advise you that if you're only
I would have preferred,
to complain,
and maybe this is a form
with the Jarl of Winterhold.
Of not
if,
racism
however,
as well,
you seek something more,
I would have preferred if
I
it
will
weren't
be happy to
the
assist
humans that were the racists in Skyrim. I would have preferred if there was someone else. G'day, St. Salvius. Why would I not stream something today? It's Saturday. Okay, I didn't realise Morrowind was like that. Maybe I'm glad I didn't play it for that reason.
It is no great... The good...
Okay,
Thus, we
get
must
in
take
here.
certain precautions in order to...
May I enter the college?
Perhaps. But what is it you expect to find within? It is true, there are some here who... But what you seek... It would seem that the college has... Not just anyone is a small test, if you will. It's been so long since we've had any contact. I would be most impressed to see that. Greetings. Welcome to the College of Winterhold. If you can pass the test, then yes. Dragonborn? It's been so long. I would be most impressed to see that.
Okay. Problem is the guards tend to get a little bit fussy about this, but... Is that better?
If it's true, and you do have the voice, would you mind showing me? I've never seen it firsthand.
I gotta wait for it to recharge. I just did it.
So the stories are true. You are Dragonborn. Normally, you'd need to show some aptitude with one of the schools of magic. But you... I think there is much that we can learn from each other. I think you'll be a superb addition to the college. Welcome, apprentice. I'll lead you across the bridge. Once you're inside, you'll want to speak with Mirabelle Irvine, our master wizard. Please, follow me.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, St. Salvius, and it's true anywhere you go, really, that, yes, there are a majority of people in a country, but the problem I've got with Skyrim is that it very much feels like everybody else isn't welcome. And it's not, but it's also not really all that much about the fact that, you know, Skyrim is mostly Nords. That's not the problem I've got. The problem I've got is that the game, it feels like you have to be a Nord to be accepted. Like, just the words and the phrasing that is used in a lot of places throughout the game, when, you know, when the Greybeards talk to you, when Bulgriff talks to you, when Ulfric talks to you, it all feels like you are A, male, and B, a Nord. That's just, and I can't even explain exactly why it feels that way, but it does. So yeah, that's my.
You are new here, are you not?
That's my problem with the game, but it's not nothing.
Then allow.
Nothing I haven't said before.
Arin, Archmage of the College of Winterhold. I am quite, but I do. Are we clear?
Yep. I just need to talk to somebody about Elder Scrolls. And so we've got to go up here. Give me an Elder Scroll, my man.
You are now in the Arcanium, of which I am in charge. It might as well be my own little plane of oblivion. Disrupt my Arcanium, and I will have you torn apart by angry Atronachs. Now, do you require assistance? And what do you plan to do with it? Do you even know what you're asking about? Or are you just someone's errand boy? You think that even if I did have one here, I would let you see it? It would be kept under the highest security. The greatest thief in the world wouldn't be able to lay a finger on it. What about? Wait, were you the one the Greybeards were calling? I'll bring everything we have on them, but it's not much. So don't get your hopes up. It's mostly lies, leavened with rumor and conjecture. All right, then. Here you go. Try not to spill anything on them. I don't want to see you treating any of these books poorly. Aye, that's the work of Septimus Cygnus. He's the world's master of the nature of Elder Scrolls, but, well, he's been gone for a long while. Too long. Somewhere up north, in the ice fields. He said he found some old Dwemer artifact, but well, that was years ago. Haven't heard from him since.
Hope the stream is running all right. I've noticed that my preview on Twitch is reloading every couple of seconds. Everything in OBS shows really good though, so don't know. So did that give us the quest? Yep, it did. Wonderful. Let's go and do that. Yeah, the chat's still going. I reloaded the page and everything's looking good now, so that's fine. Not going to worry about it too much. G'day BM, I'm doing good, how are you? This way. Hang on, that's not the way I want to go. I want to go this way. It was just a skeleton way up in the top there. Where are we going this way?
Dig. The Imp.
Okay,
I
come on.
cannot go to here. Well, on the cosmological scale, one block lifts the up. Lucky then they in the depths of. Have you heard of black under deep of? But not all can. Tooth. The round one for two. The edge. Fine as Trust Septimus. He knows you can know.
Okay, so... let's go and get to Tower MArc. Where was that? That's right. What's going to be the best way to get to that? Going to be a little bit of a trek. I think the only thing that I've seen in the game that sort of comes close to actually being infinite quests, and I sort of feel like this was something that probably happened in Oblivion as well, is that it seems like once you have... that's a dead end. It's not where I expected to go. It seems like once you have completed the companions quests, and maybe even the Mages Guild here, but they will still, like the companions will still give you quests to do, even though you are the leader of the companions. The other higher ranking companions will say, oh yeah, there's this mission you can go and do. And they're all just, I don't know, I don't know if there is that many of them, but it seems like there is, and it seems like they're just junky missions. You know, they're just the same old stuff that they've been giving you before. But I don't know, maybe there is more to it than that, but that's what it feels like, is how they've got infinite missions. I suppose you can go into inns and go up to various rulers and say, you got a mission for me? And they will give you something, so there is probably that as well, I guess. This is going to be so hard to decide what to take and what not to take. Because so much of this stuff is really just junk. Yeah, there are probably a lot of people around that don't believe that people would still play games that are this old or older. You know. I don't have a problem with it. Makes sense to me. Stop eventually or not? I'm not sure what I'm even doing in here actually, because this isn't the normal way in. But anyway. What's that? Oh, lesser ward spell. I don't really need it, but hey. Got it now. Oh, we're back out to Skyrim. Can I fast travel? No, I can't. Okay then, I think what I want to do is go back up through here. It's going to be easier. I've got to go into there. The only way I can do that, or the easiest way I can do that, is back in through here. So let's do that. Did not even twig that that was a chest. Check that there's nothing down there. Up and out. I'm more curious as to what the Microsoft deal is going to mean for any new Elder Scrolls games.
Where is it? I know you were trying to keep it for yourself, Cesar. You always try.
Because the biggest thing you've got to see about any situation where, you know, one company buys out another like that is, do they see them as a competitor? You know, like, Did Microsoft buy out Bethesda to stop them producing any more games? More, or was it, you know, because that happens a lot, right? Or are they instead going to keep producing content? I mean, it doesn't always happen that, you know, a company will buy another company out and then shut it down so that it's not producing, not being a competitor. And probably, it's probably actually the rarer of the things. It's probably much more common that they would keep the company going and use that to increase their profits. But you just never can tell. And it's usually, you know, it's usually not something that they do overnight, sort of thing. You know, it's the sort of thing where they take them over, they say, yep, we're going to be able to work together, no problems. And then just over time, suddenly there's less and less coming out of that studio until it gets closed. I think I'm going to have to stop the stream soon because it's getting very hard to actually be effective in combat at the moment because my sound is not synced properly. What I'm hearing, and I think the stream is the same way.
Another of the smooth skins looking for food? Like this one wasn't trapped with us. No. I picked a bad time to get lost, friend. That's all you've got?
The reason why my sound isn't synced is nothing to do with the game, or at least not entirely due to the game. I was trying out a few different things today. I had, about 6 months or so ago, I bought a really cheap capture card, and I tried setting it up again today to see if it was, before the stream, to see if it was going to be any good and whether I might be able to use it instead of the video stuff that I do for streaming. It turned out it wasn't going to be any good, so I turned that off. But that's not the problem. The problem is that I also decided I wanted to try out some new Bluetooth earbuds that I bought. Because I wanted to try them just in general, really, to see how they were going to go, but having them for the stream rather than these corded ones, even though they're not really much of a problem to be sitting in ears all the time, I'm just a bit of a technophile and I always want to be new things. And the other wireless Bluetooth earbuds that I've got are garbage and barely work at all, even though I paid. I got 2 different sets. One set I paid like $30 for at Officeworks, and the other set I paid like $160 for, and they're all crap. But yeah, I wanted to try out these earbuds, but because I started the stream with Bluetooth, and then I decided no, that the Bluetooth was just a little bit out of sync, I turned them off and went back to my earbuds and my wired ones, and they ended up being even worse. Actually, maybe that's what I should do. Let me go back to the earbuds briefly and see if they are slightly better. Oops. What have we got there? Okay. These on. What have we got? Well, that's good to know. The battery's fully charged. And Bluetooth is connected. Oh, just as bad. Just as slow, if not worse. Let's try switching to that. Is that any better? No, not really. But then again, I don't think the problem is the audio entirely on the streaming PC. I think it's actually more a problem with the whole thing, because I'm streaming across the network from my gaming PC to my streaming PC, etc., etc. That feels like it's the way on. That's a novice gate. What's in here? Yeah, I've had the new streaming PC for a couple of weeks now. I didn't stream much this week because I was on call. But the week before that, when I was streaming, that was all on my new streaming PC, which is just it's an MSI, but it's basically a NUC. It's one of those tiny little brick PCs. Let's just get this guy out of my world before I loot around here. It's only got 8 gig of RAM. It doesn't need to be high spec because all it's doing is a little bit of work encoding the stream, and that's about it. It's not doing a lot, but I might buy a good capture card, even if it's like a USB type of capture card. Why am I having so much trouble with this lock? There we go. Yeah, I mean, it's buying up a business and then shutting it down is definitely not a new thing. It's been done before. I just don't know if it's probably not as common as like the movies and television and stuff like that make out it is. I don't know if it's really done all that often. And the thing is, when you look at it historically, Microsoft actually tends to buy businesses, and it rarely buys them and then buries them. What it tends to do, like, it doesn't really matter what products you look at. There's a significant portion of the products that people think of as being Microsoft, you know, that are synonymous with Microsoft, that were not made by Microsoft, not initially anyway. Microsoft bought the company or bought the product and then ran with it, and that goes all the way back to DOS. So there is actually a pretty good chance that Microsoft will just potentially keep them around for a little while. Gaming is a different story. But what you might see is that let me just get some. What we might end up seeing is that, you know, Bethesda game studios no longer exist. Normally you don't do it there. So what we might see is Bethesda game studios no longer existing, but Microsoft continuing to own and produce the Elder Scrolls and the Fallout licenses and all that sort of stuff. They will become Microsoft property, and that might not even be the case yet. It might be that that technically Bethesda is just a part of Microsoft, and Bethesda still technically owns the rights to those titles, right? But then, within a couple of years, Microsoft might then take the title and keep it for itself, and then they will continue to produce the games, and, you know, because at the same, you know, you've got to remember, the Fallout games weren't originally created by Bethesda. They were created by someone else, and Bethesda bought them out, and basically did the same thing. So, or was it the Elder Scroll? I can't remember. It was one of them. So yeah, it's entirely possible that at some point, excuse me, at some point they may make the decision and say, you know what, we're just going to close down Bethesda and we're just going to keep creating the games ourselves. Yeah, I know what you're saying, Sock, but it really does come down to, for a lot of the companies, it's the title and not the brand, I suppose. I guess that's the way to say it. But, you know, they want the intellectual property of the games themselves more than they want the Bethesda name. Right. I'm sure, I can't think of them at the moment, but I'm sure there are other game franchises that Microsoft has also done that with already, where they They bought the production company, and now those games themselves are synonymous with Microsoft, even though they didn't create the original game, and they just want to keep creating those games going forward. You know, like we said with the Fallout universe, where Bethesda bought the company that made the original Fallout games and then continued to produce them themselves. And I'm sure there's got to be others that Microsoft did that with. I mean, I think the first one that jumps to mind, and I think it's only because I've seen some ads about it recently, is what is now called Microsoft Flight Simulator. I don't think was originally developed by Microsoft. The original version of that game, because that Flight Simulator game has been around for years in various forms, I think. And I don't think Microsoft created it. I think they just bought it and slapped their name on it. And it would not surprise me to see them wanting to do that with Elder Scrolls and Fallout as well. And if that's the case, then they will just kill off Bethesda. They won't do it immediately. They'll leave it a few years, but they'll do it because they don't need Bethesda anymore. They've got the name. They've got the brand. That's the important thing. That's what's making sales. People don't buy... Well, companies like Microsoft try and bet on the fact that people aren't going to buy a Fallout game because it's made by Bethesda. They're going to buy a Fallout game because it's a Fallout game. I should try some of the Fallout games, I know. I have been thinking about it. But at the moment, I have like 11 different things in my wish list in Steam, all things that I have not yet tried, and all predominantly fantasy ones. Although one of them is not, I think. There we are. And I really sort of feel like I would want to do more on those first before I did some other games. So, I don't know. Maybe if there was another Fallout coming, you know, really soon, I would consider buying it from scratch, but... Quick save. Can I tell you what's on the Steam wishlist? I haven't. Can I tell? Well, yeah, I can. Let's have a look, shall we? Sure. Why not? Still full save here. Wish list. So, The First Men has been on my wish list for a long time now. You can say I added it in 2019. It is a real-time 4x strategy in a fantasy world. It's actually a little bit like the Majesty games, I feel, is what it's going to be like. It just looked really interesting to me. I don't know if I'll ever really like it or not, but I've had that on my list for quite a while. Recently, I added Divinity 2, which, you know, is It's a Divinity game. It came around before Divinity Original Sin did. So it's actually pretty old game, but because it was a lot like a Skyrim type of thing, where it's a third-person, open-world fantasy RPG with dragons, I thought, well, I'll probably like it. I'll give it a try. The one thing I've got to say, though, that I'm going to have to get used to if I play most of these games that are in this list at the moment, is most of them are actually third-person, and that's something I'm not used to playing. Is playing as third-person. I'm used to doing everything in first-person. Then I've got the 3 Dragon Ages on my list. So Dragon Age Origins, Dragon Age 2, Dragon Age Inquisition. Kingdoms of Almar Re-Reckoning. This one is an interesting one. I've seen a lot of reviews about this recently, where everyone said it ended up being like the Myst game that came out in 2020. I don't know, it's more of an action RPG, so that still is a little bit like your Skyrims and stuff, but it's a little bit more weird in a way. Majesty 2 is an interesting one. I actually saw someone playing this. Actually, who was it? It was the Spiffing Brit was showing some exploits in this game. I saw an old video of his, and it looked interesting. Interesting enough that I actually bought Majesty 1 the other day because it was super cheap, and I tried it out. It's not bad, but it's not quite what I was hoping it would be. I don't know whether I'll buy Majesty 2 or if it'll be taken off my list before too long. The Outer Worlds was the game that I was thinking of before, that's more of a sci-fi sort of open world action RPG type thing. But that's had some pretty good reviews. And so I'm thinking about giving that a try. I'm definitely thinking about giving Greedfall a try. And then these two I've heard about recently, Shores Unknown and Dragons of Edera, which are both said to be pretty good, and they're also although this is turn-based combat. But yeah, they interest me a little bit as well. I have gotten, where is it? I have gotten Enderall, I think, to work, so that's probably going to be the next thing that I play around with. So that's probably going to be the next thing that I stream. And I am going to come back and stream some more the Hunter Call of the Wild at some point on, if I just want to do a chill stream. I might even do that this long weekend sometime, tomorrow or not. But yeah, that's my wish list at the moment. So you're saying you've played the Kingdoms of Amalur? Cool, that's good to know that it's good. The only problem I've got is the prices on all of these games. I would like to get some of these on special because, some of these older ones, even these older ones actually, for a game as old as Divinity 2 to still be $30 just seems like a lot. And then, if I get all of those Dragon Ages, that's over $100. And then $70 for Kingdoms of Amalur. Majesty 2 at $14, yeah, I'll pay that every day, any day of the week. But $90, okay, it's not that old, it's about 6 months old, but still, I'd like that to come out on special. Same with Greedfall. Those two, I don't know. Part of the problem there is that they're both early access, and that one's mostly positive and that one's very positive. That one's the one that I'm more likely than not to drop off that list. And I add things and drop them off my list all the time. I'm actually surprised that the First Men is still on there, considering how long it has been in coming soon. It sort of feels like it's never going to come around. Because I think I actually added it previously, took it off, and then re-added it when I said I added it in 2019. So, yeah, I've had a lot of people tell me that Greedfall is pretty good, and I've watched some videos on it as well. My concern is, again, it's another one of those ones where the storyline is you've got to make this hard choice between whether you... Is there any deal for discount hunting? Well, I mean, as long as it works with Steam, I'm all right. But I just wait for them to come on the sales on Steam more often than not. Yeah, the problem I've got with Greedfall is it's another one of those games that feels like it's a little bit like Skyrim in that a lot of the missions, I just get the feeling, even though I haven't really seen a lot of it, what I have seen people of how they've reviewed it and stuff, it makes it feel like the game is a lot like Skyrim in that a lot of the missions are, they feel ambiguous as to whether you've done a good or bad thing. You know, and as you know, I like to be the good guy, and so it just sort of feels like a lot of the time, from what I have seen of Greedfall, the missions are always a little bit, you know, you think you're doing a good thing and in the end you find out you've done a bad thing type of thing, and that's not the sort of game I really like. So I've been very much and ahhing about this one for a little while now, because, and I the other thing about it is I don't really know what character I would play, because it's very different, being that it's like a swashbuckling 17th century sort of thing rather than a medieval fantasy type thing. I don't know what character I would play. I've seen Spiffing Brit play it, and the way he played it, he showed out the guns seemed to be just OP in that game. And but having said that, a lot of people have said that magic is OP in that game. And so yeah, I don't know. But yeah, that's my wish list at the moment. Let's come back into Skyrim. As I said, I'm not sure how much more I'm going to do tonight in this, because it is... The visual feedback is all screwed up for me, and it is incredibly hard to do anything in this game when the auditory feedback is so screwed up. Even pinning those locks is very interesting. It's not until your sound has gone funny like this that you actually realize how much you rely on sound cues at the same time as the visual cues. You know, like half the time in combat, I'm reacting because before I get attacked by an opponent, I'm reacting because I can hear the opponent before I can even see them. It is so... This lock is so hard. Fluked that. Oh wow, there's an elven battle axe there. What is that compared to what I've currently got? Oh! Yeah, 11 points less. No, not gonna use it. I really shouldn't be putting that away. I should be keeping it out. Get attacked by another Spidey boy around here, but I'm not seeing him. Let's come over this way. There you are. Are you gonna... this way. Down this way. And we start doing the thing. Honeybee's Candy, thanks for the follow. Yeah, the skeleton was holding a book, Saint Salvius. I'm trying to remember if that was a book that... I don't know, there's a reason why I didn't pick it up, I just can't remember what it is. I think I sort of knew what it was about. This area, and then I think that's going to be enough for this stream because it's getting really hard to do anything properly when I really can't hear it. Skyrim's forever your favourite game, eh? Well, that's good. I actually like it. It's a good game. It's got its problems. I'm going to sugarcoat it because it does. But yeah, I quite like it. Let's just hide in here and here. I haven't actually played a Civilization game in a long time. I think I played one of the early games, like back in the 90s. But I don't think I've... And maybe it's not even, maybe it wasn't actually the Civilization games in the 90s, maybe it was called something else. But I played a game like that a long time ago. But I haven't done it recently. I mean, I do like those sorts of games when I'm in the mood for them. Yeah, I understand a lot of people saying that they have nostalgia for Oblivion. I actually didn't play any of either Oblivion, any of the Elder Scrolls games when they first came out. And part of that is because I've been a Linux user for a very long time now, coming up to 20 years. And so I really haven't, for for the longest while, it really wasn't easy to play Windows games on Linux. So I missed out on a lot of those games when they first came out. Unfortunately, I don't quite see Oblivion in the same light. I played it just recently, and I find it incredibly frustrating because it's not balanced. The fact that I have to use a mod just to be able to play the game without just continually... A mod that allows me to level up a little bit easier, because if I don't do that, then I am forever feeling like I'm up against a brick wall, because the leveling system is just so ridiculous to get it to work properly. I've mentioned that a few times before. It's my big bugbear that I don't like about Oblivion. I liked the story. When I played all the way through it with the mod, I liked the story. I thought it was an interesting story in general, but it's very broken. It's not balanced at all, and because of that, it's going to take a lot for me to want to play it again, put it that way. I played enough of it. I got through the main mission. I got through some of the DLC missions. I just, at the moment, I don't have any desire to put myself through that torture again. Why am I picking all this stuff up? I really don't need it. I also feel like... And then I look at that. Oh, look at that. I need to pick that up. That's right, that's where we are. I thought this was going to take us all the way out, but it doesn't. Mona Lisa Vito, thanks for the follow as well. Always a good night when you get a couple more followers. So, welcome. Are you another one who has nostalgia for Skyrim? We want to just get through this as quickly as we can. Oh, hello there. these aren't even really worth that much, so I don't know why I'd bother. Yeah, I know what you mean. The game for me... Well, actually, there was a few games when I was younger that I played a lot more than I should have. But one of the games for me was Ultima... Was it Ultima 4 or Ultima 5? Or was it Ultima 6? It was one of the Ultima games. I was actually given it as a birthday present when I was like 16, I think, by a bunch of my friends from school. They all chipped in some money and bought me the game. And I played that. I think I've mentioned it on the stream before. I played that game like so much. And then I never actually finished it. But that was because right at the end, and I actually looked it up just recently after I talked about this last time on stream, right at the end of the game, you start on the overworld and you do all these missions, and then there are these dungeons. There's like 7 different dungeons around the world, and they can take you down to the underworld. And then from the underworld there are a bunch of other dungeons, but one of those dungeons in the other underworld leads to the end of the game, where you have to rescue Lord British. And the end of that dungeon is just this maze, and I could never work out because it's literally you end up in just this big grid of just north-south corridors, and you have a crossroad, and then you go a few steps north, and there would be a ladder, and then a few steps north, that would be another crossroad. And that's just the whole layout, was just this massive grid like that, and I could never work out how to get through it all. Yeah, I now know why that was blocked. So we are going to ban that. There we go. So yeah, I just never managed to finish that game, and that was like, yeah. That one really haunted me quite a bit. Not haunted me, but, like I played it so much, and you get all the way to the end, and then there's this maze that you just couldn't get through. And then I found out, I actually hacked into the game files, and that managed to find out the final message that you actually see. And you basically, there's just one little door that you have to find in this one spot, and you go through the door, and there's Lord British, and you give him this simple box that you found in his castle, and he opens the box, and that's the end of the game. And it's just like, really? It was so anticlimactic in the end then, when I found out what happened at the end of the game, that it was frustrating in a way. Well, I don't know. I can't remember now. I did look it up, what the maze was all about, but I don't remember what it said now, but I don't think it was... I can't remember if it really was a maze, or if there was just, like, in one of the rooms that you went to, there was a secret door which I missed or something. I can't remember now what it said. It was several weeks ago when I looked it up. But at the time it was just this... And like, this was the late 80s, so there was no internet. There was nowhere I could go and look it up. In the early 90s, when I was studying at uni, I actually found in a bookstore a book that listed the, not really cheats, but, sort of guides on a lot of different games, and it had a guide on how to get through that at the end. And I don't remember what it said either, and I didn't buy it at the time because I couldn't afford it. But yeah, that is the sort of thing that happens. You know, you have games in your childhood that you just can't get through. But I feel it was bad game design was the problem there, not that I did anything wrong or anything. It just seemed to be an annoying little... I've said it before, I'm good at puzzles, and I like puzzles, but I like puzzles that have some sort of clue to them, just some maze which you have to just sit there and... Any game that designs a puzzle that the only way you as a player get through it is by trying every combination, that's not a puzzle. That's... I don't know what to call it, but to me, a puzzle is something where you give a whole bunch of clues and the person... Oh, I've got to level up and I didn't even notice it. To me, a good puzzle is you give people a whole bunch of clues and they have to work out the solution. That's the sort of puzzle I like. A puzzle that is just some random maze. Like there was another game, there was a couple of different text adventure games that I had as a kid, and there was one called Bedlam, and it was you start the game as a patient in an insane asylum, and you have to try and escape. Well, the problem with Bedlam as a game was every time you played it, the way that you were supposed to escape changed. So even if you found a way to escape, the next time you played the game, if you tried to play it again, let's say you found a way out, and then you wanted to show a friend, so you brought them over and you played the game the second time, it was a different way to escape. So every time you thought in that game, oh, that might be a way to do it, I'll try doing that. Next time in the game, that the thing that you thought of would give a completely different reaction than what you were expecting. And yeah, those sorts of games are not fun. I'm going to take Restoration Dual Casting so I can feel myself a little bit better, but that's about it, I think, at this point. Yeah, it's not a puzzle, it's a waste of time, you're right. But any game where, yeah, they force you to... And there are some... I felt like there was a couple of things in Oblivion or Skyrim that are a little bit like that, where you go into the situation and there's no clues about it. You just have to try it, and if you fail, well, you need to reload the game and try again. And I'm like, no, that's not the way to present that to somebody, because you don't... It's not a... like, how do I put it? You're not learning anything. Well, you are learning because you failed, but forcing them to die as a way of learning that they've done it the wrong way doesn't seem right to me. And I think that comes back a lot from... I mentioned this the other day. I remember a lot of the arcade games. The classic arcade game... What was the... No, I can't think of the name of it now. I had it a minute ago and then I can't think of it. The guy... there's a guy with a dragon, and it was like the first video game that was run off Laserdisc, and it was all animated video. And at certain points, you had the choice to take control of the character and do actions. And it was a really good game, but it was deliberately designed... All arcade games are deliberately designed to suck money out of you. They are designed to be so hard that, you know, no matter what you do, you're going to die. Like, you have to be some sort of superhuman. And I've seen that. Like, I was pretty young. I was like 8 or 9, I think, when the first video games started to come in where I lived. And so, you know, like the old Froggers and Pac-Mans and Galagas and Space Invader type games, I was out when they were the first arcade games that were around, you know. And I remember seeing those games and seeing how hard they appeared, but then after a while they got easier and easier because you got used to playing those sorts of things. And so every generation of computer games, arcade games, have gotten harder and harder deliberately to suck money out of you. But once you get onto consoles, there's actually no incentive for them to do that in the game, because all that does is frustrate you. You've bought the game, so you can play it as much as you need to. There's no other way for them to suck money out of you except these days with microtransactions. But with consoles and you know, now PC gaming, having a game where you teach the person that they've done something wrong by killing them and forcing them to try another option doesn't really have the same sort of meaning and feedback and everything, and it's something that I don't like in games. They should be a little bit more flexible in the way that they do those sorts of things. Yeah, I found, Mona Lisa, I agree. I found the Oblivion Gates pretty tedious. And what I found, the last time I played it, which was just a few weeks ago, what I found with Oblivion was, I found the game more enjoyable when I left the main quest line alone for as long as possible. Because when I was moving around in the world and there were Oblivion Gates appearing with scamps and all that sort of stuff popping out of them, it felt like I should have been going in and taking those gates out every time I found one. It felt like that was an obligation that I should have been doing. And I know that the game didn't care. You know, it wasn't a problem, but there was a feeling in me that felt like, oh, I should be closing that gate, but I want to do something else for now, so I'm going to ignore it. But, you know, in reality, that's not something that you should be ignoring, because, you know, that's an invasion from Oblivion, and there's probably people being killed by those things, you know, while you dilly-dally and do something else. So, yeah, I agree with that. But the other thing that I found, and it was mentioned before about the imbalance of a lot of the opponents, the bloody Spider Daedra were just so annoying. So incredibly annoying. And once you get past that certain point in the game, that seemed to be the majority of the Daedra that you then came across. And I mean, they were easy enough to get rid of if you ignored the little spider guys and just charged at the big spider and just took it out, either using close range magic or using melee. You were fine. But it meant that you just couldn't use ranged attacks. You couldn't use archery. You couldn't use distance spells against those big guys, because the little spiders would be running in and knocking you out all the time. Yeah, David, it does. You see an Oblivion Gate, it feels like you're supposed to go and close it. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, because closing it, you know, you get some experience, blah, blah, blah. But it takes time to do and all that stuff, which is why, as I said, the last time I played Oblivion, it just felt so much easier if I ignored the main quest line for as long as possible. If I had other things that I wanted to do, you know, if you want to do the Fighters Guild, if you want to do the Mages Guild, if you want to do the Knights of the Nine, all of that type of stuff, just ignore the main quest line as long as possible, and that works in that thing. I guess reinforcements, as one of the problems here is that there are ways that they can get around the problems with puzzles and stuff like that. Like, you don't want to make a puzzle too hard that no one will ever get it without them having to reload and all that sort of stuff. That is something that shouldn't be done. At the same time, you know, if you've got someone who's, you know, a young person or whatever who doesn't understand the puzzle or whatever, and you're trying to, you're trying to find a way through it. Games where you have a companion with you at all times, because that's the game. Like either there's, you're supposed to be doing it as a party, or whatever. Any game like that, they can sort of get around it by having one of those companions say, "Oh, I think this is the way to get through that puzzle," or whatever, or to give you hints as ways to get around it. But yeah, I agree. Too many games that have puzzles that are just ridiculously hard and that you have to die multiple times to work your way through them or whatever, I just don't like that. Anyway, I think that's going to be enough for this episode. I've been dilly-dallying on this spot here because this is going to a new zone, basically. I'm going to stop here, not because I'm not having fun or anything. I am. I'm having great fun talking about games and everything, but I'm not going to progress any further right now because the fact that the sound isn't synced up for me at the moment is really annoying me, and I think the only way I can fix that is to stop my OBS on my streaming PC, which stops the stream, and I don't want to do that. So we're just going to end the stream here instead, and hopefully we'll come back tomorrow and everything will be fixed. Thanks for the cheer, St. Salvius. But yes, very much enjoy this. Welcome to our new followers. Thank you for coming along. I hope you enjoyed, and come back next time for more of our playthrough, possibly our last playthrough of Skyrim for a while, because I've done most of what I want to do in this game as well. Although what we're trying to see here is what, having done the main purpose of this playthrough, if you weren't sure before, just before we finish out, the purpose of this playthrough is we did the Stormcloak Civil War questline. So we have killed and we've driven out the Imperials, and I want to see how the Civil War changes the main storyline, because you have to do that whole thing later on where normally you have to make a peace treaty between the Imperials and the Stormcloaks, and without that there, I want to see how that changes the main questline. It's probably not going to be a huge thing, but yeah, that's the whole purpose of that. So thank you, and I will catch you all next time. Have a good one. Bye.